Good morning, students. Today we are going to see in Science Lesson 3 plants and their food. Our planet Earth is full of amazing things. You all know that. Each having its own characteristics and importance. Nothing exists without any purpose. All things that have life fall under the category called living things. These things already have studied in your lower classes. Just we are recalling. Living things can be further divided into two broad categories, plants and animals. So today in lesson 3 we are going to learn about plants and their food. Observe the trees and plants around you. What is the most common color of leaves and what gives color to them? So most plants have green leaves. A green pigment called chlorophyll only gives green color to the leaves. Likewise, how in our blood a red color pigment called hemoglobin gives blood red color, same way that green color pigment present in the leaves gives the leaves green color, and that green pigment is called chlorophyll. Let's read the para what makes leaves green. Most plants have green leaves. Leaves have a green pigment called chlorophyll. The leaves of plants such as crotons too have chlorophyll, but it is hidden by pigments of other colors such as yellow or red. Plants make food in their leaves with the help of chlorophyll. Even though crotons are very colorful, the chlorophyll is hidden. That's why the chlorophyll, which is the hidden chlorophyll, only prepares food. And some pigments, colored pigments also can able to prepare food. It's not only the green color pigment chlorophyll only prepares food. Some colored pigments present in crotons in some of the leaves, they can also prepare the food. What does a plant need to make food? Plants are living things. They need food to live. A plant uses water, carbon dioxide, sunlight and chlorophyll to make food. The process of making food by the plants using water, carbon dioxide, sunlight and chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. So regarding photosynthesis also in your third standard you would have studied. And you all know plants can able to prepare their own food. Do we prepare our own food? Do our body prepares own food? No, we depend on plants and animals for our food. But plants, they depend on the non-living things existing in the environment like sun, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, like that. They depend on the non-living things exists in the environment to prepare food. And since plants, they prepare their own food, plants are called producers. Do you know that? Plants, they prepare their own food, so they are called producers. We'll move on to photosynthesis now. So what is photosynthesis? The process of making food by the plant using water, carbon dioxide, sunlight and chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. Do you know photosynthesis comes from two words? We can split that word photosynthesis into two, photo and synthesis. Photo means light, synthesis means put together or make something. So with the help of light, the plants, the chlorophyll present in the leaves, with the help of water, carbon dioxide, they put together all the things and they prepare food. Since water from the soil and carbon dioxide from the air are put together in the presence of sunlight to prepare food, the process is called photosynthesis. The food prepared by the leaves is a kind of sugar, and it is used to get energy for the growth of the plant and for repairing damaged cells. So the leaves prepare food by the process of photosynthesis. The food prepared by the leaves is a kind of sugar. So during the process of making food, plants produce oxygen gas. This oxygen comes out of the leaves and mixes with the air. So during the process of photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. And the oxygen released by the plants is utilized by the animals and humans for breathing. Same way, animals and humans release carbon dioxide during respiration, and that carbon dioxide is used by the plants to prepare food by the process called photosynthesis. Do you know this? It is not only the leaves that make food for the plant. Any part of the plant that contains chlorophyll makes food for the plant. Such parts appear green. So chlorophyll has to be present. It is not like only leaves has to prepare food. Some plants doesn't have leaves. So instead of leaves they will have stem green in color. So the stem will prepare food. For example, cactus. Cacti do not have leaves, yet the chlorophyll present in the stem helps the plant to prepare food. Similarly, the colored leaves of crotons are able to prepare food because the pigments that give a different color to the leaf along with the chlorophyll helps to prepare food. So just remember, it is not only the leaves that make food for the plant. So any part of the plant that contains chlorophyll makes food for the plant. Such parts appear green. So chlorophyll must be there. If chlorophyll is present means any part of the plant can able to prepare food. Next we'll move on to how do leaves get sunlight, water and air to make food. So how sunlight helps in making the food. Leaves absorb sunlight that falls on them. That is why leaves are flat. The leaves are arranged on a plant in such a way that they receive enough sunlight. See, the leaves are arranged on a plant in such a way that they are exposed to sunlight. So each and every leaf in that plant will receive enough sunlight, and when the sunlight falls on the leaves, the chlorophyll becomes active and start producing food. So to prepare food, leaves has to get sunlight. That is why all the leaves are arranged in such a way that they receive sunlight. If you have gone to hill stations like Ooty, Kodaikanal, you would have noticed that the trees growing in that place will grow very tall. So not only here, in cold climatic trees in cold climatic conditions, in that place also they will grow very tall. Do you know why? In order to get sunlight, the trees in hill stations are in cold climatic conditions, they grow tall. Because they have to receive the sunlight, because most of the time the clouds will hide the sun. So the plants won't able to receive enough sunlight. So in order to receive enough sunlight, the trees in those places will grow very tall, so that the leaves will able to get exposed to the sunlight and the leaves can able to prepare food. The next important material needed by the plant in order to make food is water. You all know water is absorbed by the roots. So roots have narrow tubes. These tubes form a continuous network in the whole plant. Roots absorb water from the soil. This water travels through the network of tubes and reaches every leaf and all other parts of the plant. So the roots absorb the water from the soil. From the root, the stem carries the water to all parts of the plant. And from the stem, the veins, lines present in the leaves are called veins. The veins carry the water from the stem to all parts of the leaf. Veins not only carry water from the stem to all parts of the leaf, once the leaf prepares food, the prepared food is carried by these veins to the stem, and stem carries the prepared food by the leaves to all other parts of the plant. So now we are going to discuss about parts of a leaf in detail. If you look at a leaf closely, you will see fine line-like structure on the entire leaf. These are the narrow tubes and are called the leaf veins. The main vein in the center is called the midrib. See, a leaf is attached to the stem by a stalk called petiole or leaf stalk. And that leaf stalk or petiole only extends as midrib in the center of the leaf. And the midrib gives out many branches of small lines called veins. In some leaves, even that veins will divides into many small branches or network of lines. The main vein in the center is called the midrib, and veins transport food and water to the plant. They also support the leaves. See, there are two types of veins. The lines present in the arrangement of lines in the leaf is said to be known as venation, and there are two types of venation, parallel venation and reticulate venation. When you go to higher class, you will be studying about venation in detail. So, in order to prepare food, veins also play a major role. Next, we are going to discuss about the other important material, carbon dioxide. See, there are tiny holes called stomata on the surface of the leaf. Air enters the leaves through the stomata. Leaves absorb carbon dioxide gas present in the air to make food. A plant does not use all the food that it makes. The food that does not get used up is stored as starch. The starch is stored in the roots, stems, leaves, fruits and seeds of plants. There are tiny holes present in the leaves and they are called stomata. Through these stomata only carbon dioxide or oxygen, carbon dioxide is absorbed into the leaves and oxygen is released from the leaf. And stomata plays a very important role in the exchange of gases. So, finally, the prepared food is called starch. A plant does not use all the food that it makes. The food that does not get used up is stored as starch. The starch is stored in the roots, stems, leaves, fruits and seeds of plants. Whatever needed starch will be utilized by the plants for their growth to get energy. The remaining food it gets stored as starch, and the starch is not only stored in leaves, they are stored in stems, fruits, roots and seeds. Wherever the starch is stored, those parts of the plant only it's edible, it becomes edible. Either animals or human beings, we eat only that edible part of the plant where the starch is stored, and the starch is nothing but the food prepared by the leaves. When we eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, rice, wheat or potatoes, we actually eat the food made by the plants. Do you know that we eat carrot, beetroot, radish and we call them as root vegetables. And why we are not eating the leaves of carrot or the stem of beetroot? Why? Because there and all the food is not stored, only in the roots the food is stored. That's why we are eating the roots of those plants like carrot, beetroot, we are eating the roots. That's why they are called as root vegetables. Same way, in some of the plants the food is stored in their stem. So, some plants we eat the stem of that plant. Can you give some examples? Sugar cane. We are eating only the stem of the sugar cane. Why? Because there only, in the stem only, the food is stored. And one more thing, do you know? Potato. We all eat potatoes. We all like potatoes very much. And potato grows below the soil. And potato is nothing but a stem only. It is called underground stem. And in some plants, the food is stored directly in the leaves itself. So, cabbage, spinach, palak, here the food is stored in their leaves itself. Some plants, the food is stored in flowers. Example like cauliflower, broccoli, they are the flowers where the food is stored and we are able to eat them. They become edible when the food is stored, and so that we can able to eat them. And in some of the plants, in fruits, the food gets stored. Mostly what are all the fruits we are eating, there the food gets stored. That's why they become juicy, swollen, fleshy, and we are able to eat them. In some plants, the food gets stored in their seeds. That's why the seeds become edible, and they also contains nutrients. For example, the rice grains, wheat grains, maize, all are seeds only. Why we are eating means the food gets stored in that seed, so we are all eating them. So remember, food, the leaf only prepares the food. How much ever the food has to be utilized by the plant, the plants will utilize. The excess food gets stored in the different parts of the plant, like as we discussed in roots, stems, flowers, fruits and seeds. All this while we discussed how green plants prepare food. Do you know there are some non-green plants? Do you know what are they? Moles and mushrooms. They are said to be known as non-green plants. The mushrooms especially, they look like plants but they won't be green in color. That's why they are said to be non-green plants, because they don't have chlorophyll. They cannot prepare their own food. Same way moles. Mole is a kind of fungi. These moles and mushrooms, they cannot prepare their own food because they don't have chlorophyll. So they have to feed on dead and decaying organic matter present in the soil. So since like plants they grow on the soil, they are said to be known as non-green plants. So what are non-green plants? Molds and mushrooms are non-green plants. Why they are said to be non-green? Because they doesn't contain chlorophyll and they don't prepare their own food, and they depend on the dead and decaying organic matter present in the soil. Okay students, till this go through the lesson. Today's assignment, you can see a word maze and fill in the blanks of the passage. With the help of the word maze, you have to find the answers for the fill-ups asked in the passage. Thank you students. See you in the next class.